Can you hear me? Okay, so today I'm doing yoga with my friend Carmen. She's a runner, so my yoga practicum today is focused on yoga for runners to stretch out the hamstrings and improve flexibility. And today our intention is going to be I am strong both physically and mentally. We're both teachers and we started the new school year, so we really want to focus on just being very strong physically and mentally, stretching ourselves and improving our flexibility. So Carmen, we're going to start in Tadasana, which is homeostasis of the body, which is when we go at the edge of our mat with our feet hip width apart, our toes facing forward, gripping the mat, and just feeling the arch of our feet sucking up the mat and bringing it all the way through our thighs. So make sure your thighs are engaged and your palms are facing forward. You're gazing at something and you're just taking a deep breath here, inhaling and exhaling, and just go at a pace that's comfortable for you when you focus on your breath. And we're going to stay here and breathe for a few moments as we take in our intention for today. I am strong both physically and mentally. I love how you're standing with your hips feet width apart. You're doing an awesome job. All right. And then now we're going to take our hands to our thighs and do a half forward fold, lengthening the spine. Make sure not to hunch over. You can roll your shoulders back a little bit and just feel that stretch, micro bend your knees. Feel that stretch in the back of your hamstrings. And then take a forward facing fold all the way down. Good job. You can hang your head like a bowling ball. And you can sway your arms back and forth, putting your hands on both elbows as you sway back and forth like a rag doll. Take a few moments here. And then inhale again, hands on thighs for half forward fold. And then exhale, forward facing fold all the way down. Swaying side to side. Again, feeling a deeper stretch in the back of your hamstrings, maybe than from when you started. Half forward fold. Exhale, forward facing fold. And just do that 1 or 2 times to yourself at a pace that's comfortable for you. As I check and monitor the room. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward facing fold. And as we put our hands back on our thighs, we're going to roll up our spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Lower back, mid back, upper back. And the last to come up is our head. And we're going to roll our shoulders up, down, and back. Lengthen our spine. Feel our navel against our spine. Make sure we're standing up straight. And we're going to start our sun salutations. So again, back into Tadasana. Feet facing forward, gripped on the mat. Hands and arms a little bit apart. Palms facing forward. And just circle your arms up and around. Overhead, and put your hands into prayer position like this, above your head, and then pull your arms down to your heart, and then back, exhale back into Tadasana. Let's take a few moments to do 3 sun salutations together. Arms up, overhead, into prayer, back down. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms circle up around overhead into prayer pose and back down. Back to Tadasana. And one more time, circle the arms up, around, and down. And pull down. Back into Tadasana. And now we're going to do a half forward fold as we inhale, but hands back on thighs or hips if that feels comfortable to you as well. And then step your 2 feet back into plank pose. So put your hands down onto the floor, and then we're gonna put, you can do 1 foot, yep, good job, 1 foot back and then the other foot. And then as we're in plank pose, make sure your hands are gripping the mat and are shoulder width apart, and your posture, a flat back, and make sure your tailbone is down. And just hold here for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then pelvis goes up and down, side to side. Press the floor away and make sure your navel's in as you drop the knees. And we're gonna do a few cat and cow poses here. Yep, drop the knees. And then as you inhale, open your chest, like arching your back of a cat. And then as you exhale, look at your navel and contract your chest and sink your tailbone down. And then inhale, open the chest into cat. Hands and arm, or facing, your eyes facing forward. And then inhale or exhale, contract your chest and look at your navel. And we're gonna do that a few more times. And Carmen, if you need to use if your wrists are feeling sore, you can also use fist if your wrists are feeling sore, so you can put them like this. Let's do that a couple more times. Exhale, contract chest. Inhale, open chest. As you inhale and open your chest, I want you to step your right foot forward in between your 2 hands. And then do a lunge as you put your hands on your right thigh. And you can, Carmen, you can also put your left knee down to feel a little bit more of your left hip sinking down. So you can feel that hip flexor stretch as well as you're also stretching the thigh muscle. So you can put your 2 hands on your thighs into a lunge with your knee down, hand on your thigh, open up your heart and your chest, and just feel that stretch for a few moments. Inhaling and exhaling, focusing on your breath. Put your 2 hands down and then push your pelvis and your tailbone back and feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Here, let me show you one more time. Carmen, let me show you really. No, it's fine. So just put your left knee back down and then go back to the lunge. And yeah. And then shift back down so you can feel that stretch in your hamstring. You want to make sure that your spine is not hunching over. So just try to bend down as far as you can go. It's okay if your hands don't touch the ground or if you need blocks to help prop your hands, or you can also use spidey hands where just your fingertips hit the mat. Just a position that's comfortable enough that you can feel that stretch in the back of your hamstrings. And just breathe here for a couple moments. And then rebend your right knee back to the lunge position and move your your little feet and your side of your foot to the edge of your mat so it's a little bit wider and more pigeon-toed. And take your 2 hands and put them inside the right foot, and they're kind of close together. And then you're just gonna shift your hips back and forth so you can feel that stretch in your hips and also in the hamstrings, the thighs, and the calf muscles. You can also kind of move your leg out and in to feel that hip flexor stretch as well. Just take a few moments here, breathing in and out. Focusing on that breath, feeling that extra stretch. And then move your right leg back into all fours. And at this point, if you are familiar with some yoga moves, we can move into downward facing dog. So just put your two legs up and then pedal your legs if you want to feel that extra stretch in your calf muscles. Make sure your arms are shoulder width apart, pedaling the floor, feeling that stretch. And then you can do a plank and upward facing dog as well, a chaturanga, if that makes you, if you're familiar with that, or you can go back to all fours and we'll meet at all fours. So again, that moves into plank and upward facing dog. And then back to all fours. Awesome job, Carmen. Okay, so then we're gonna go back to all fours. And then take our other side and work on flexing our hamstrings on the other side. So take your left foot and put it in between your hands into that lunge position again. And then just feel your breath right here and just feel that stretch. Again, you put your hands on your thighs and just sink your hip bone or hip down. You can feel that hip flexor stretch, the thighs and the calf muscles. You can move your hips back and forth and make sure your pelvis is facing forward in the neutral position. And then take your hands to the floor and shift back, tailbone on the other leg, and just feel again that stretch in your hips, your hamstrings. Flex the foot. And make sure not to hunch over so you don't have to go too far if you're already feeling a little bit of a stretch. Just breathe here for a few moments. Heart facing forward. And then re-bend the knees. The toes facing towards the edge of the mat. Heel out. And then take your two hands again, putting them inside of your left foot this time, and this is where you are going to move back your hips up and down, back and forth, and just feeling that stretch in the hips. Again, also you can move this left leg out and back in, out and in to feel that hip flexor stretch. Good job. And then let's go back to all fours and downward facing dog. Pedaling a little bit again to feel that stretch and get yourself moving a little bit. And then take your right foot to your right hand and then lift up and put your other foot all the way down onto the mat and just roll back up. And you want to have a good stance where you feel like you're standing, you're not off balance, you don't feel any weakness on any side, you feel equality. And once you are in this position, you're going to put your hands on your thighs and you're just going to bend. You can bend this right leg a little bit so that way you can just lengthen your spine, do a half fold over this right leg so you can feel that stretch. An awesome job. I was going to say you can put your hands down if you want to, or you can use blocks if you feel like you can't reach without hunching over and opening the chest, pelvis in a neutral position. And just breathe here for a few moments as we take this in. You can flex your toes if you want a deeper stretch. And then roll yourself back up, and we're gonna just switch our legs. So we're gonna take our left leg and put that one forward. Make sure again that you're even, your pelvis is facing forward. And then you're just gonna fold over that leg and just feel that stretch. One side might feel a little bit harder to go farther down on, which is totally fine. We're just trying to get some strength and extra flexibility and work on equaling and balancing our bodies. and stretching from that run. And again, you can flex your toes back if that helps make a stretch deeper for you and you're really wanting to get a little bit deeper in your stretches. And then we're going to go back down into downward facing dog and transition into the walking to the top of our mat. So you can jump both feet in between your legs, or you can take one foot at a time. So we're back standing up with our feet to the edge of the mat. And what we're going to do is roll our mat a little bit. So like this, rolling up our mat, just the edge of it. So then we can put our 2 feet on just the balls of our feet. So our heels are on our mat and the balls of our feet are a little bit elevated. And we're going to do a half forward fold. So bending at the hips and putting our hands on our thighs and taking big inhale and then exhale, forward facing fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, forward facing fold. And this just gives us a little bit extra stretch, just a deeper stretch when we're our balls of our feet are elevated. All right, so you can unwind your mat, unroll it. And then we're gonna take a wide leg stance, so like this, pigeon-toed, which means our toes are out. Take a wide leg stance. Exhale, fold forward, all the way down. You can use blocks if you need to, or spidey hands, and just feel this stretch as you sway side to side. You can bend one leg and then the other, kind of just play with it. Just be free and feel the energy flow inside of you. Just take a few moments here to play around and deepen that stretch. Maybe you feel like you could stretch a little farther now. Just take your time, inhaling and exhaling, swaying side to side. And then half forward fold like this. You could still stay wide-legged. And then exhale, forward facing fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Just do that one time on your own. Then put your hands to the floor and step back to plank. Drop your knees, put your toes together, and your knees hip width apart. Rest your palms on your thighs, and just pull your tailbone back. And then we're going to, put your hands down here as you fold back into child's pose, just for a little stretch right now to relax. Feel the power in your arms too as you try to grip the mat with your fingers and the palms facing down. Just stay here for a few moments. Head and forehead to the mat. And then come back to all fours. And then take a seated position that feels comfortable to you. Legs crossed. Hands could be on your thighs. And just take a moment to breathe in and out at a pace that's comfortable for you. Once you take a few breaths, I want you to take out your legs and have your knees bent. Take a big exhale and extend your legs straight in front of you. Slowly roll your whole body down. Take your arms on your sides, palms can be facing up or down. And just take a few minutes to sit here in silence in Shavasana as we release all the tension inside of us, as we release all the anxiety in our minds, as we take away all the thoughts that hinder us from doing what we want to do in life, and just relax here for a few moments in silence, reflecting on our practice today and our intention. I am strong, physically and mentally. And then when you're ready, wiggle your toes, your hands, and come back to a seated position as we close out our practice. Thank you for joining me today, Carmen. I hope that you feel stretched out and ready to do another run tomorrow. And let's take our hands into prayer and say our namaste. Namaste.